friends, Katrina the Crafty Cataloger here for what I hope will be a relatively short update. I had intended to be back at the end of February, first part of March. That fits into the way my rotation of my pieces works really well, but for whatever reason, life keeps getting in the way, and I, for whatever reason, cannot seem to get to it when I say I'm going to get to it. And I honestly probably don't have time to be messing with this today, but I'm going to because I'm really tired of moving it in my planner week after week after week. So if you're new to my channel, I thank you for stopping by and checking out what I'm all about. I share a little bit of a lot of things. Cross stitch is my favorite hobby, so a lot of cross stitch. I do dabble in knitting and quilting and paper crafting, and I like to read. So I usually touch on all those things. But like I said, today I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. If you're a returning friend, I thank you so much for coming back. I do appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And let's get started. The first thing we're going to talk about is cross stitch. For those of you who are new here, I have 3 large full coverage pieces that I'm working on, and I rotate them every 2 months just so I change it up a bit. And so for the months of January and February, I worked on Mini Village Bookstore by Randall Spangler. It's a Haid pattern. I will put a picture of what it will look like when I'm finished here. And before I forget, I'm really bad about giving details. And so in the description box below, there will be a link to a Google Doc that has all those details in it. So for the months of January and February, I worked on Mini Village Bookstore, and I didn't make as much progress as I wanted. In January, I made this lofty goal of 4,000 stitches, and that was crazy. I think I got 895 or something weird like that. And then in February, I thought, okay, let's be a little more realistic. 2,000, that should be doable. And it should be, honestly. That'd be 500 stitches every weekend, and that should be doable. I still didn't hit it. But here is where, upside down. Here's where I am now. I focused mainly in this area here, like in here, because I'm working my way to try to finish off this chunk over here. I also used this, there are 2 Michigan Facebook groups, Michigan cross stitch Facebook groups. And in the one, for the longest time, in the one, for the longest time, Harmony Terry from Harmony Stitches was doing a game every month where she would spin a wheel. It would tell us what state capital we were visiting that month. And each of us then would go to Google Maps or wherever, whatever mapping app you want to use, and put in that state capital and your home address. And however many miles it was, that was the number of stitches you had to do to meet that challenge. And so I don't know what happened, but for some reason she had to stop that, and I have been continuing that on my own. And so in January, I used a Mini Village Bookstore to do that also. That was 620 stitches. I'm obviously double dipping on that whole thing. And then in February, I went to Nashville, Tennessee, which was 588 stitches. I have switched to Sunlight Sonata all this last month. I think I got in 1,200. Well, yesterday was the last day of the month, right? So I can actually look. I got 1,023, so I didn't even get 1,200 throughout the month of March on Sunlight Sonata. So again, I'm not hitting that 2,000 mark. This month I really need to work hard to try to make that 2,000 mark, because This month, oh, and I won't show you Sunlight Sonata today. I'll wait and show you that the next video because it really belongs in the next video. But I was also traveling to Albany, New York this month, which was 781 miles. Next month, I really need to hunker down and get in over 2,000 stitches. I actually have written down that I'm going to aim for 2,500 because my wheel spun Olympia, Washington, which is 2,312 miles from my house. So I really need to get myself in gear on that. Anyway, moving on. The next piece I worked on in the past 2 months, and I finished it just this last month, is the piece for my niece who is getting married in May. And I finished it, so now all I have to do is frame it. This piece gave me fits like you would not believe. It's beautiful, but I had, let's see if I can adjust the way I'm holding this. I had like here, 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 and like down to here done. And so I had this chunk here, but I got, I don't know. I got to the corner and it wasn't meeting up. My border wasn't meeting up. I thought I figured out where I went wrong up here, so I ripped it all back up to here. Redid it again. I was still off. So the bottom corner, I'm not going to tell you what it should look like because I think it looks fine, but there should be some more stitches in both of those corners, but I could not get them to line up and work out, so I didn't. I ripped out more stitches on this piece. I think I probably ripped out as many as I stitched. I started out with Mr. in this color and then the ampersand in this color, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It looked horrible. So I ripped out the Mr., restitched it, and then the last thing I ended up doing was ripping out the ampersand and restitching that. But so many times, it was like I couldn't count for whatever reason. So, but as you can see, the wedding is May 18th, so sometime this month I need to get that framed. I was going to have it professionally framed, but I kind of don't want to do that. So, I don't know. I might go to Hobby Lobby and just see what kind of frame I can buy. I don't know. I'm worried about framing it myself because of the border. And I just know that pieces with borders can be tricky to stitch. I am participating in Whip Go this year. And in the month of January, nope, you have to go back further than that. In the month of January, my Whip Go calls were to do a lighthouse and to do a Christmas ornament. And so here is, and if you're new here, I've been making Christmas ornaments for 2 of my nieces and both of my sons. So I have to do 4 of these every year. So this is the Christmas ornament I made. And I hope I don't regret this because I don't know how I'm going to finish that because it's not a square. And then a lighthouse. Oh, I have to pull this out. I did do a lighthouse. And so I did the first of the lighthouses. This is Tawas Point. I picked this one to do first because this Tawas itself has special meaning to me and my family. We used to go to Tawas every summer. My mother would rent a cottage on Lake Huron for a week, about 10 miles south of Tawas. And funny thing is, when I was a kid, we never ever went out to the lighthouse, ever. Never. I think because it's in the state park and my mom didn't have a state park sticker and couldn't afford to get one, but Now, if we're in Tawas, we go to the lighthouse every time because my mom's a big lighthouse fan. And also, in case anybody noticed, I do know that there is something right here, and I don't know what that is. It appeared after. I do have this already on some fusible interfacing, which I'll talk about more in a minute. I'm gonna take some like OxyClean maybe with a cotton and see if I can just get, I don't know what that is. It just appeared like after I ironed it. So I'm not happy about that. I guess I could maybe stitch a cloud or something over it if I had to, but I don't want to. Anyway, February, my Whip Go calls were to do another Christmas ornament and to work on my wow piece. But I also did another lighthouse. So here's the other lighthouse that I did. This is the Sturgeon Point Lighthouse. It says it was built in 1869. And I'll take a second here to talk about the lighthouses because last time I did a video, I talked about how I wanted to come up with a different way to put these, to finish these, because they're for my mother, who is a big lighthouse fan. But honestly, she doesn't have room in her house for more lighthouse stuff. She doesn't even have room to hang all these on the wall because there's going to be like 12 or 13 of them when I'm finished. And I asked if anybody knew or if anyone had ever put their cross stitch in like a photo album. And several of you commented that I should go watch Laura Stitching by the Shore. And thank you very much for that. I did, and now I have another person to watch because she's great. But yes, that was exactly what I needed to see. And so I went to Joann's and I looked for an album, and I was extremely excited when I found this album because it has anchors on it. So it's all nautical. I thought that was perfect. It's just striped on the back. And I don't know what I'll put here, but I'll figure out something to put there. And then I went online to a scrapbooking thing, a scrapbooking supplier, and I found a packet of scrapbook paper, or yeah, scrapbook paper. You can't see that one very well. It's got anchors on it. But, you know, it's just all different nautical type. And some of them, they're all double-sided papers. So some of them I'm not gonna, like, of course, some of them I wouldn't, like this one I like. That's just a Post-it note telling me which lighthouse I decided I was gonna put there. And that one's cute with the sailboats, but of course it's on the same piece. And then you get pieces, it always happens to me this way. Then you get pieces where it's like, that's just stripes. It's okay. This one's cute, but it's not something I want to put in a scrapbook for my mother. Anyway, I am hoping to do about one of these a month, or maybe two. I'm leaving tomorrow for a conference for work, and I'm going to take one of these with us to work on at night in the hotel. So anyway, this is my plan. I don't have anything in here like taped in here, so paper is kind of moving itself around. So let me adjust things. This isn't going to be right because it's the wrong lighthouse here, but this is ultimately what I'm aiming for. And the paper still moved. This will be centered up here. To have an informational sheet on this side and the stitched piece on this side. So here's the informational piece up close. Basically, my goal is I just want to put like the name of the lighthouse and its address at the top. And then a picture of the lighthouse, and like I found this other picture of the lighthouse. It was an aerial shot. And I'll reprint this. I printed this here at home. I will take this to work and print it on a nice printer when I get. Then I have like a map of Michigan with, it's hard to see here, but there's a little indicator as to where this lighthouse is. And then down here, I just want to put in some information. So like I have that it was built in 1869, it was first lit in 1869, it was automated in 1939, what kind of construction it is, what kind of lens it has, what the range is, like this one goes 9 nautical miles, and any special characteristics. That's just what I want to put on those information sheets. And I actually keep thinking that I need to sit down one day and just make all the information sheets, take them into work and print them, and then pick away at making the lighthouses. So anyway, I made another lighthouse. Where was I? I think I was talking about Whip Go. My 2 Whip Go goals for February, like I said, were WOW and Christmas. So then I had to make another Christmas ornament. So now I have 2 Christmas ornaments. And I still have 2 to go. And again, there are a lot more stitches in that than you might think. And also I'm hoping that I don't regret not picking something square. And the WOW piece, I don't know if I think I have a picture of what it should look like when it's finished. And I probably have a picture of where it was when before I started working on it. So I'll put that there. And here's where we are now. Even though this is really not my style and I know it's some kind of shield, but I don't really know what it is. I actually do enjoy stitching on it. I think just because it has some nice chunks of color and it goes pretty fast. So, working on that. I think that's all I worked on. Honestly, I really don't know. But other news in cross stitch, I won a giveaway. So excited. I've actually won 2 giveaways. I don't have the second one yet. That one I just won like last week. The first one I won was from Jody. Oh my goodness. Am I really not going to remember her channel name now as I'm sitting here? I want to say Jody's Creative Corner, but that doesn't sound right for some reason. No, that was right. Jody's Creative Corner. If you don't watch her, you should go on over and take a look at what she has to offer. She does some great stuff. And she's a fellow Michigander, so yay. And she was doing a giveaway. I honestly don't remember why now. Did she reach 5,000 subscribers maybe? Yeah, she reached 5,000 subscribers, that's why. So she did a giveaway and I won. Look at this super cute little bag. I mean, that's not little. In fact, I should put my lighthouse in there to take it with me. Look at little Easter bunnies. It's a cute little heart. I don't know if I don't think she made this. Let's see what this little text is. So much. Oh, it's a So Much to Love bag. Oh, it's just beautiful. And Jody's favorite color is purple. So it's also one of my favorites. Purple, red, blue, and purple are kind of tied for me. They're all my favorites. So, and in the bag, there was this little bag with a little Easter egg. It's a little Easter egg needle minder and a little pair of scissors. Can't ever have too many scissors or needle minders for that matter. And a pattern, a So Much to Love pattern, bunny floss bobbin it says. Oh, sorry. Glare. So I'll have to tackle that maybe next year for Easter. That's cute. And a Just Cross Stitch magazine, the spring 2024 issue. Which actually, I think there was really something in here I actually did want. I don't remember what now, but I have to look through this again because it seems like, oh yes. 21. This, Cross My Stitches. Jackie, Cross My Stitches had showed this. It's called the Hummingbird Garden, and you get a part of it. I think they're going to do it in 4 parts maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I mean, you could even just do one of, you get like a whole row. So you could even just do one of those rows. And I thought that was really pretty. Okay, my camera just quit on me. It seems to think I can only record for 30 minutes at a time. Like, I have more to say than that, please. I think this Easter Bunny is cute also. I'm not sure what I'd do with it. It's cute. So anyway, thank you again so much, Jody. I was so excited. And then last week, I was watching Melly Ellie Stitches, who's also a Michigander. And I won something from her too. So exciting. Thank you, everybody, for being so generous. Anyway, that's my stitching. What a mess. Editing Katrina here. I failed to mention something very important in the cross stitch section that I wanted to talk about. And that is that Harmony from Harmony Stitches has been working on organizing a cross stitch retreat here in Michigan, and I am going. I'm very excited, but I wanted to help get the word out in case you're from Michigan or somewhere close enough that you could come. I believe there are still spots open. The retreat is taking place, I want to say for May 31st through June 2nd. I will try to post a link to it below, but if not, look up Harmony Terry on Instagram. I know she just posted about it. Anyway, it's taking place in Chesaning at the Creative Passions Retreat Center, and I just think it's going to be fun. I've never been to a retreat before, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I meant to talk about it in my video and I forgot. So just thought I'd put that in there now. Let's talk about knitting real quick. And by quick, I mean quick. Here's a picture of the current project I'm working on. It is called Stormy Seas Shawl, I think. I will try to put a picture here of where it was the last time you saw it. And just to show that we have made progress, here's where we are now. We are, I can't really stretch it out because it would come off the needles, but I am making progress. It is getting bigger. I actually think I have about 4 more rows to do before I get to the next section. This will be going with me. Here's a close-up of what the fabric is looking like, I guess. This will be going with me, and so I probably will get a lot of work on this because I'm going to be in a car for 5 hours tomorrow and 5 hours on Saturday, so I should get a decent amount of work on that. I did, I'm not going to show it, but I did stuff a couple of more pieces for George the dog. But he's still in pieces, so let's move on to paper crafting. I am doing a whip go board for paper crafting as well as for stitching, and my paper crafting whip go board. The first month, I think I had to make 2 thank you cards and 4 masculine birthday cards. Then the next month I had to make 10 Christmas cards and 2 cards from Robin's latest video. And Robin is Robin Simply Stamps, I think is her channel name. I'll put it below. And then for March, I was supposed to make 2 birthday cards and 2 birthday cards. I was so proud of myself because I actually kept up in January and February, and I still haven't done March. The 2 thank you cards. This one actually, we did a Secret Santa thing at work, and the person who had my name bought me this little card making kit. And so this front and the inside is actually from this card making kit. It's kind of cute because when you open it up, you got this like bunch of flowers that pops out. My problem with this is like, where do you write on it? Like, happy birthday, hello, thank you, whatever you want to write. So what I did was I then took and I attached that to an actual card base that I just made so that I would have something to write on. So I made that one, and I believe I made this one. Oh, wait a second. So I believe I made this one. I think I made a couple of these, but I have this one to show you. Get my face out of there. So this, they call this a belly band, I guess. This slides off, and then the card opens up like this. And I have a piece of paper here, but I haven't done it. Basically what I would do is I would stamp my sentiment and write my note there and tape that in there so that when you opened it up, the note would be there. But I haven't attached that yet because I have a bad habit of attaching things and then I stamp them and it doesn't turn out very well, and then I have to figure out how to cover it up or whatever. So I've learned to kind of do that kind of thing before I attach it. Actually, I need to send that to somebody, so I'm going to set that aside. Then the masculine birthday cards, I made several. I haven't actually stamped anything on the inside yet, so there's one. There's one. And there's one. Then my Christmas cards. So I make 10 Christmas cards on that Whipco board 4 times, which would give me 40 cards. Just pretty close to what I need. I probably need closer to 50 actually. But I decided to make this one. And I ended up making 40 of them. But I don't have them finished. So they're not all exactly the same. Am I holding that right? No, it should go like this. So I still need to get the medallion thingy for right there, but I kind of have to figure out what I'm going to do. But again, it kind of folds. It folds out like this. So I made several with that paper combination. I made several with this paper combination. Let's see. I only made I had this fun paper with pets on it. So I made 2 of those and 1 of these. And these are going to go to my nieces and my son and daughter-in-law because they they both have animals, so I just made theirs a little different because I wanted to use that paper, and then I made some with this paper combination. So like I said, I just have to figure out, here they have hello. I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Like I have to figure out a little medallion thing and get that done. So I have not marked any of those squares off on my Whipco board. But if I can just get that part done, I would have like 4 squares done. Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be great. Quilting, I think I did work on this quilt for my mother-in-law a little bit, but I'm not going to bother to show it. Maybe I can get my act together and have it finished by the time I come back next, hopefully at the end of the month. I really think it's one of those things where if I just sit down and do it, it wouldn't take that long. Oh, but I do have something else I want to show you. Hold please. I did make something else sewing wise. I wanted to make a Bible cover, and so this was the first one I made. And I'll link the video below that I followed to make this. What I don't like about this one is it's too loose. It's way too loose. I think it's cute though. I like the color combination, the fabric. In the video, the lady didn't do a coordinating spine. Hers was just all one color, but I wanted a coordinating spine, so I did that. And then I ended up buying a new Bible, and I made a cover for it. And I like the way this one turned out too. There's only one spot that I kind of messed up, and I know what I did wrong, but for me, it's fine. And this one is much better. Like I adjusted, I didn't do quite what she said for measurement, and this one is nice and snug, which to me is much better. But anyway, so I did that. And so I sent pictures to my 2 best friends, and my one's like, oh, could you make me one? So we're emailing back and forth trying to figure out what fabric she wants me to use. So I'm like, yeah, I can make you one. So let's finish out with reading. I don't really know what's happened, but all of a sudden I am doing much better with my reading. Like, I mean, I have always read steadily, but I think last year I set my reading goal at 70. And I read like 110 or something. This year I set it at 75. I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, I read 110 last year, I'm going to read 115. Because I know that's unrealistic. But I did up it a little bit. And actually, after I got to thinking about it, I should have made it more like 82, which would have been 6 books a month. But I didn't. And I guess I could change it, but it's really not that important. Anyway, so this year's goal with Goodreads was to read 75 books. And according to Goodreads, I have read 32 out of 75, and we're not even halfway through the year. So yay me. I also made a couple of other reading goals for myself. And I'll show this real quick. Hopefully it will come up. Come on. Hello. Why is that not coming up? Well, here, I'll show a couple of different things. So one of the things I'm doing in my planner, here, let me turn that light off in the laundry room. That's offering a bit of glare. Hopefully that's better. Maybe my window's also glaring. Anyway, I found this thing in, does that help? A little bit. Anyway, you get the idea. I found this online somewhere, and it's 75 books, and basically I just take a screenshot of each book and add it every time I finish a book. So by the end of the year, that should be filled in. That's fun. I also found this online. Somebody I follow, Jansen Bradshaw, I think is her name. I follow her on Instagram. Maybe if I do that. She had posted this free like reading log. Basically, you just color in a book every time you finish. That's kind of fun. So anyway, oh no, I have to up that back up so I can actually see things. I had made a couple of other reading goals. I did a 24 and 24, so I have 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Again, that's just not going to show up very well because it's too bright. So I'm trying to work through those every month. I'm trying to do like a couple every month. I have what did I do? Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 of those done. I'm working on the 6th. I am like 4 hours from being done on the 6th. I'm listening to that one. And so every month I try to pick out 1 or 2 of those that I'm going to read. And then I also made a goal for myself that I wanted to, there's a book club online. I'm trying to read the book they're reading every month if I can. I don't usually end up participating in the discussion, but I'm just trying to read the book because they're all books I wanted to read anyway. I'm trying to read 5 classics this year. At least 2 nonfiction, which I've already read more than 2 nonfiction, which is strange for me. And I want to read at least 2 books from a genre that I don't normally read. So I have read 1 classic already this year. I read Tess of the D'Urbervilles, which if you've never read it, it wasn't a bad story, but it was not happy either. It was kind of strange. And then I watched the movie. But I have a list of ones here I'm going to try to read. So anyway, I have been making Instagram wrap-up posts every month for my reading. I'll try to post them here. Just so you can see them. In January, I read 12 books. 1.5 of them were in print, 5 were audio, 5.5 were ebooks. Oh, and I have a note here. The reason 1.5 and 5.5 is because I started one in print and then finished it in ebook. I read 12 out of my 75 Goodreads book goal books that month. And hopefully I've got the graphics up here on the screen. The 5-star books, I had 5 5-star books that month. Loyally Luke was really, really funny. It was the 3rd book in a trilogy that I have really enjoyed. The Warsaw Sisters was extremely sad because it's about World War II in Poland. But if you like World War II historical novels, that was a good one. The Lost Quilter, I have just really enjoyed rereading that Jennifer Chiaverini series. In my 4.5, the only reason that Quilter's Kitchen got a 4.5 instead of a 5 is it's really not, there is a story to it, but it's more recipes than anything else. The 3-book, a 3-star book to me is still a good book. It's just not the greatest book I ever read. So any of those, that you would look at and go, oh, that looks good. I would still recommend any of those. The Candace Sue Patterson book, Beneath the Michigan Moon, was a novella, so it was a short one. In February, I had 8 5-star books. They were all very good. I mean, obviously, the Montcalm County, Michigan book probably would not be of interest to anybody else, but that's where I live, so it was interesting. The Karen Wittemeyer books, I am yet to meet a Karen Wittemeyer book that I didn't love, so there's that. And Michelle Shockley, the last book on that one, The Appalachian Song. I've read other things by Michelle Shockley. This was not my favorite of her books, but it still was very, very good. There's Test of the D'Urbervilles as a 3-star that month. I have not done the graphic. I have not finished the graphic for March. I have it on my iPad, and I try to add the books as I finish them. So it's close, but that's probably another thing I need to try to tackle today. Anyway, what else? I feel like there's something else I should be telling you all, but I don't know what that would be. Michigan was really weird this winter. It was like spring, 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 winter, spring, 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 winter, spring, 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 spring. Supposed to really be spring, but we're going to have winter. And now we're back to spring again. So, I mean, we literally, our snowstorms would be like 2 or 3 days and then it would all be gone. It was extremely weird. It didn't really bother me. I'm not a skier. We don't own snowmobiles. So it's not like I was like, oh man, we can't use our toys. It's just almost disconcerting though, because it's like January and it feels like spring and you're like, it's only January. So hopefully we are truly in spring now. But I will say that in this house, we know that it won't be done snowing until after my birthday, which is in early April. So if you're thinking the snow is over, I wait till after the 10th. Then it will probably be over, because that's usually what happens. My mother says that it snowed a little bit on the day I was born, and I can probably count on both hands the number of times in my 50 plus years that it has not at least flurried on my birthday. So unfortunately, we're probably going to get a little bit more sometime in the next couple weeks. I had to buy a new washer and dryer. Yay. Happy adulting. My washer died, and I decided to just buy a new pair. That is the 5th washer I have bought in 20 years. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. They should last longer than that. I decided to go back to a top loader. When we first got married, our very first set was your good old-fashioned white top loader washing machine. And actually, it was still working when we replaced it. We only replaced it because in this house, the laundry facilities, laundry hookups were in the basement. And when we bought this house, I told my husband, I said, I'm not going to like that. That's not going to work. But I tried to make it work for about 1.5 years, and then we had our second child, and I said, I can't. I can't have that laundry in the basement. It just doesn't work. I had never lived in a house ever in my life where you had to go downstairs to do the laundry, so I'm sure that's part of the reason. I would literally put stuff in the washer and then go down 2 days later and be like, oh, I forgot to move it to the dryer. Now I have to wash it over again. And honestly, this girl has no business walking up and down stairs with a laundry basket. I've always said that my mother should have given me Grace as a middle name, because then maybe I'd have some. But I can trip over absolutely nothing. So really, me going up and down stairs with laundry baskets is not a good idea. So after our second son was born, I said, we need the laundry upstairs. The only way we could figure out to get it upstairs was to put it in the hall closet. But it would have to stack. So we invested in the stackable front loader washer dryer. And the one that just died was the 3rd one that I'd had. My dryers have never died, but my washer has always died. So this time I went back to a top load. I'll insert a picture here. I got the biggest top load I could get, and it doesn't have the agitator in the middle. So I'm not missing my front loads at this point. Like, I can still put as much stuff in these as I could my front loader. And the only reason I bought a dryer was because I wanted them to match, especially since I was going with a different color and doing the top load, which meant that there's going to be the fin up the back, which obviously my old ones didn't have. So, and the washer and dryer have since moved. They're not in that hall closet. Now they're here in my craft room in a closet of sorts. So anyway, that's what I've been spending my money on. Woohoo! I'm thankful that I have a job and I had the money to buy them. That's not what I really want to spend my money on. But anyway, I hope that everyone is well. I hope that I kept this short, but I don't think I did. And hopefully I can come back at the end of the month. Happy crafting, everybody.